Hey everyone, it's Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. This is one of those videos where I have a very serious topic to talk about, and I need something to show you, and I don't really want it to be Twitter. So I pulled out a book from the bookshelf. This is Soul Finder and Black Tide. Yeah, second book, hardcover. Part of the reason being is that I'm going to have Dracula be a hardcover book, which brings up a whole issue there. But this is, from my understanding, same printer I'm using and everything. So this would be similar quality and everything to the hardcover I'm going to do. Don't get too excited about any of the extras at the moment, like extra treatments to the cover. Just the book itself, paper, stuff like that. Anyway, what I want to talk about is holding creators accountable. And what I mean by this is on a few different levels. So I realize that as soon as you see that as a title of a video or what have you, you're going to say, you're going to think that it's about, hey, this creator is acting out of line and I need to hold them accountable. Or this creator did not do what they say they're going to do and I need to hold them accountable, or someone needs to hold them accountable. What this is really about, I think, is a creator finding mechanisms to hold themselves accountable. What I mean by that is when you work for a company, let's say you have an editor, you're working for a big two publisher or something like that, you have an editor that is presumably looking over your shoulder, and you know your mileage may vary on how well a particular editor is going to do, but at the end of the day there's still a level of accountability. Are you turning in your work? Are you getting stuff done? Are you doing what you're told to do with said work? And hopefully it's good quality. Those are the kinds of things. um, and obviously there are failures and shortcomings, but I will give the mainstream industry this. I think they have fewer timeliness issues than crowdfunded comic books do. Now, I don't think this should actually be a surprise, because in independent comics, you have independent creators who are setting their own timelines. They are making themselves accountable. And I can tell you from experience, it's very difficult. Part of my problem is I come up with all sorts of things I need to take on. And oh yeah, I'm gonna write this other script and that other script, and oh, I have a business idea. I want to start this side business over here, and oh, there's things I want to do with my family and my kids, and it ends up just being a lot. And so what gets precedence? Well, I have a full time job, and for me, that's gonna take precedence over a lot of things. Um, I think I've actually been pretty darn good at getting comic stuff done, for what is within my control. But I'll tell you right now, I know I have a deadline on a script that I was hired to write, and I have done a terrible job of getting it done. Actually, the part of the problem is I don't really have a hard deadline, and so I was sort of pushing that back on my list of things to do. I'm looking at the back side here. Um, Anyway, I think for successful creators, what you have to do is create some kind of structured system that gives you accountability, and it has to involve other people. For example, wow, that was loud. I'm going to open a random page here because it's hard to hold this open with one hand. Um, I think what you need to do, like they say, if you want to lose weight, you got to tell people you're going to lose weight. And then that way, it's not that everyone's going to come slap food out of your hand. It's just that people know, and you know that they know. And so you're going to try and look good in front of people. And so one of the nice things about in comics, if you have creative partnerships and you give a deadline to another person, for example, I've got Eric Weathers drawing a 20-page story for me. And when it came to that, I could have definitely pushed that back to do some other things, but I had told him it was going to be done by a certain date, and he aligned his schedule so that he could be start to draw that by a certain date, and he could stay on top of it. And so I had to hit that deadline because people were depending upon me. A guy's livelihood, Eric's livelihood for the period of time that he's working on this book might depend on it. I don't know that it is, but I'm going to tell myself that it does. And so I hit that deadline because it had importance. When it comes to, any number of things. And so, I'm starting to learn myself when I hire people or talk to people about when I need a project done or when they should have something finished, I need to give them a reason to have it finished at a certain time. And, it's a true reason. I'm not making things up. But at the same time, I could be flexible. And, and the tendency is, oh, I want to be a really flexible person so that I'm agreeable and, everything can move along and everyone's happy. But that's not necessarily the best route to go. I mean, deadlines are great. So for creators, you have to find ways to keep yourself accountable, hit deadlines, do what you said you're going to do. Part of that is going to involve other people, and that doesn't mean having a boss necessarily, but it does mean having people rely on you, giving your word, putting in your calendar, and making it a matter of importance. Um, that is just creatively speaking, but I think it goes beyond that. Anyway, so I would like to know. Well, first off, I gotta say this kind of thinking is definitely helping me in my creative process, my just production in general. And I haven't even implemented it to the degree that I really need to. So I am working on it. But I think if every single creator out there, before you ever launched a Indiegogo campaign, before you ever started, making comics, web comics, however you're making comics, if you gave yourself a system of accountability that included other people knowing what you're doing and when it's going to be done, I think that that hurdle has to be crossed if any of us ever hope to compete with mainstream comics. Um, I mean, and again, they have so many flaws, mainstream comics, but there's an opportunity there to rise to the level of uh, getting stuff done when you say it's going to be done, at least as far as the public is concerned. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you made it this far through the video, I love you. I really appreciate you watching my videos. But I gotta say, I'm really not sure about what to do when it comes to Dracula. We've made some good progress, and I've already been talking to the printer. I still have editing to do, and got a lot of stuff to do with it. But I've been kind of pushing it back because I want ideally to have Fatal fulfilled. But I'm in a situation where, again, people's livelihoods, people getting paid, depends on a book getting finished. So I don't know. I'm curious if I launch Dracula when the book's finished, and I'm able to ship it out quickly. Is that an unforgivable sin? If I did that, would that be a no-no, or should I literally sit on a print file or even thousands of books just sitting here waiting uh, for me to fulfill a different book? Um, I don't know. It's tough. I really, really, I've got an update coming for Fatal. It is making progress. It feels great that it is making progress. But I mean, we're still working through colors. It's just such a big project, such a different thing, different animal. And so I'd love to know if you have comments on that. Anyway, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.